You aren't lazy, and you aren't unmotivated. You're just listening to a really smart, very polite liar living inside your head. Look, like 10 years ago when I moved to Hawaii, I thought it would fix me, right? New ocean, new beautiful skyline, 85 and sunny every day. What's not to love, right? But at the end of the day, when it all came crashing down, it ended up being the same old fear, just wearing nicer clothes. From the outside, I looked brave, right? I quit my job, moved 5,000 miles away, but inside, I actually clung to a plan like a life raft. It was nothing groundbreaking. I had a job lined up. My relationship was solid. My savings were mapped. Like it was all pretty easy. Then the breakup hit. On a beach with friends, living it up, listening to island music as we do, and jumping into the ocean whenever we got cool, having a nice cold Modelo on the beach when we weren't in the ocean. Then a text message. I don't think I can do this. And then another, I don't think I'm coming to Hawaii. And that started the topple that literally brought everything else back to the surface and made me crash hard. Look, the job wasn't it. My safety snapped like a freaking twig. I remember sitting at a beach at sunset. My chest was tight. I was doing math on my future, like I had a spreadsheet open. I was taking courses on neuro-linguistic programming, so I knew about all of this stuff, but I had yet to get it all together, right? And that's when it hit. That voice inside my head, it wasn't truth. It was a polite liar. Sounded smart, sounded reasonable, but at the end of the day, it's deadly. And there went the facade that I was living in. Hey everyone, I'm Jay, an award-winning coach who's learned a lot from NLP, that's neuro-linguistic programming, Neuro Trauma Therapy. And one of the huge things that I learned is what keeps you stuck isn't your circumstance, right? It's the story that you're playing on repeat inside of your head. For me, Hawaii, it sounded like freedom, but it wasn't freedom at first, right? It was this padded cage until I was able to break through. You can wait for disaster to shove you forward, or you can choose to grow now. So if you've been whispering, hey, I need more certainty, or I'm not ready, or it's too late for me to do this thing, stay with me. Because we're going to name the exact lies that are keeping you stuck so that you can stop calling the fear logic, which it wants you to do. And once you see the pattern, you can start to break it fast, all right? So let's dive into the 4 lies and how they really hook you. So fear, it rarely screams. It's rarely shouting inside your head so that you know it's fear. It loves to stay hidden. It dresses up and talks like common sense. I love this analogy. So it dresses up and it talks like common sense to wear one of 4 masks to sneak up on you. So the first lie is I need certainty first. It's really the information trap. You'll know it because if you're anything like me, you're just doing endless research, right? You're on book 5. Like you want to start something, or you want to start a blog, or you're going to start a business or a YouTube channel, right? You're on book 5 on it. Probably have book 6 already picked out. You're on podcast 15 and you have another one lined up. Poll after poll. You have to take one more course. Maybe you just purchased a course. You got to just get through that and then you'll know enough. You call it due diligence, right? But it's honestly, it's delay. The lie is about the plan and the data. It's just this, if I knew more, I'd be safe. If I know more, it'll be perfect. It'll all line up. This is just the fear of the plan of you going forward and stepping outside of your comfort zone. You think that more data equals more safety. So you keep researching, and what you do is you avoid the risk of being wrong. You avoid the risk of getting out in your comfort zone and being wrong about something, or quote unquote failing. Another story for another day, but failure is not necessarily this negative connotation everyone makes it out to be. But anyway, the fact is your brain's job is safety. So it scans for risk and feeds you fog while it's doing that, right? I've been there so many times. And the thing that everyone misses, honestly, is that the fog clears by moving, not by thinking and overthinking. Action creates clarity. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. One of the biggest things that I've ever learned. And then at the end of the day, action then creates momentum, and momentum keeps you going forward, right? I learned this the hard way in Hawaii. I wrote and I rewrote my first blog post at least 100 times and still needed it to be perfect and approved by everyone I knew that was in the business. before I launched it. Building my website for my coaching business without putting it out there and sharing it because I needed the website to be perfect. And it just made me stress every day. So what did I do? Took one uncomfortable action. That's what saved the day for me. One uncomfortable action helped. Publishing my first blog post and just putting it on socials, letting everyone know, getting it out there, that helped. Launching my website, imperfect, that helped, right? Getting my first client inquiry about it, that helped. It's taking action, right? It's getting movement going, not reading that next book. So ask yourself, what decision would you make with 60% clarity? Then make a tiny, testable action and move that like earns that next 40%. So now, before we get to lie 2, lies 1 and 2 really look the same from the outside and they feel the same, but I wanted to separate them, right? Because they both look like they're sitting on your hands, but the certainty lie, which is the one we just talked about, is about the plan. Well, lie 2 is really all about you. So lie 2, right? It's the, I'm not ready. It's the identity shield, so to speak. It sounds humble. Sometimes it even sounds wise. Hey, I'm just not ready for this. But at the end of the day, you're hiding in prep. Kind of the same again as lie 1. You're taking another course. You need a fresh plan. The strategy isn't working. You need new gear before you jump into this new thing, right? This is the fear of self, right? You hide in the prep. Again, another course, another certification. Because if you don't start, you can't fail. It's as simple as that. It protects your identity as a student so you never have to be a practitioner. And I can point this out to you. I bet you know someone in your life or knew someone in your life who is just a constant student, always learning, but they're never getting a job. They're always going to school. They're never doing anything with it, right? That's the constant student. They're afraid to get out there and expose themselves, but they're always a student, so they always have their too. So I'm learning things, right? I've been there, and I'm not judging because I've been there multiple times. It protects your identity, right? If you don't ship it, you can't fail. So here's the shortcut. Readiness isn't knowledge, it's exposure. I must have taken 50 courses before I launched my blog, like I said, and I had 3 coaching certifications before I put myself out there to get my first client. And I was still going through one when I did. I was scared. It was easy to tell myself I was still learning and not to have to do the hard thing and rip that Band-Aid off and put myself out there. As long as I had another class I wanted to take or another thing I wanted to learn, right? The truth I didn't know, or I guess probably buried, is that reps create ready. And this really, really clicked for me when I could describe my dream business in perfect detail, but hadn't shipped a single tiny offer, right? The first messy draft I sent and actually published felt like ripping Velcro. It was tearing that Band-Aid off. And 10 minutes later, I felt lighter. So if you had to do it today, what tiny version could you ship in like 1 hour? Let's do it. All right, 3, it's too late, right? We've all done that. It's too late. I've done that. I still do that, man. But you hear it as nostalgia, right? It's, hey, if I'd started 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they just got lucky. Back then it was easier. Now everything's changed, right? Timing is an alibi, not a law. You're using the past to justify staying present and paralyzed, right? Paralyzed here. And here's something I know for a fact because I've seen it in real time. Someone older than you is starting today and they're going to be successful. I guarantee it. Exactly what you're doing. So take that away with you, right? I saw it when I was putting off starting content creation and website building business because I was almost 40. I saw someone 56 launch the same damn business and succeed and is still successful. And I still keep in touch with them, right? And in the same vein, someone with more on their plate than you is making the necessary room today, right? That was always my excuse too. I have too much going on. Someone with more going on is creating a business or creating what you want to create and becoming successful. So the reason this lie sticks though is because of the sunk cost fear, they call it, right? We hate the idea that we wasted time, so we waste more. So we have to flip that, all right? Ask, late for what clock? Who set this clock? It wasn't you, right? That's just that lie bubbling up. What proves that you're earlier than you think? Start one thing that future you will thank you for next week, right? Don't sit on it anymore. All right, and finally 4, it's the safety first lie. right? It's your brain. It prefers that familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. And I know you've heard things like that before because it happens in relationships all the time too, right? I know that you know or have known somebody who stays together even though their relationship is miserable. They're both miserable. They break up every couple of weeks or months, and then they get back together. It's the same thing. Your brain prefers that familiar hell over the unfamiliar heaven. Or maybe you've been there. I've been there in a relationship. Looking back, it sucks, but you fear losing that comfort, the familiar. So you always pick the familiar pain over the unfamiliar possibility. It's just hardwired in us. You stay in the draining job because your nervous system equates known with safe. You see it all the time. You judge others for it all the time. And again, those people in relationships, the people staying in a job, the people continue to do the thing, but they're miserable, right? And you judge other people for it, but you're probably doing it somewhere in your life too. You've at least done it. You're probably doing something for it right now if you're listening to this, right? And the truth is, it's a familiar hell over the unfamiliar of being single or putting yourself out there. Look, so after my breakup, all the guarantees were gone. And there was no way really for either of us to stay in comfort and be able to do that when we were 5,000 miles away now, right? So that Band-Aid was ripped off because it had to be. And hey, man, it hurt. It hurt like hell, honestly. But the weird gift here was that with no safety net, I had to build one. I was forced to, right? And that forced movement gave me my life back, made me realize all the things that I was actually struggling with, that I was burying down, and all the lies I was telling myself. So getting back to the safety net one, if you're playing it safe, ask yourself, safe compared to what? What's the 12-month, 1 year cost of this? What's the cost of this safe, in 1 year from now, right? Is it energy drain, still brain fog and unhappiness, missed income, confidence stall, name it. So the truth is, under all four lies, the pattern under all of them, again, is fear dressed as logic. Not ready is what if I fail? Too late is what if I wasted time? Certainty first is what if I'm wrong? Safe first is what if I lose control? Right? So once you see the shared structure here, it stops feeling like truth and it starts looking like habit. And that's your opening. Because habits, they can be interrupted. And they can be interrupted fast. And then and it's no longer truth, right? So in the next part, we're just gonna jump into a recognition interrupt. So a recognition move that'll loosen the grip of this safety first or of whatever lie you're telling yourself, and a lock in that can make the action your new default, right? It takes a little work, but it's not too bad. So let's talk about the recognition interrupt and the lock in, right? So here's the move. First, you spot the lie. We just went through them. You should have a pretty good idea with it, although it is still hard to see. Again, fear dresses as logic, right? So you have to kind of spot it. It's playing a little bit of Where's Waldo, but you spot the lie. You don't argue with it. You just name it, then just pause for a few seconds, right? That's the recognition pause. That's the not ready story pause. There's the too late story pause, right? There's the safety first pause. But that little gap, it matters because you stop talking from the inside or from like the inside of the lie, and you start looking directly at it and you see it, you notice it. So you pause and then you're recognizing it. All right, so I wanted to share this slide with you quickly because typically, I wouldn't say the long-term way of doing this is you label it, which we just talked about. You pause, and then you decide at 60% clarity, right? You choose action even when it's uncertain. And then you act. You take one tiny step. You start to get the momentum. You ship a minimum viable action today. Minimum viable product, whatever it is, you ship it. So that's really what you do, within a day or a week of spotting this lie and breaking that loop, right? And getting going and starting that blog you've wanted to start, starting the business you've wanted to start, right? You label it, you pause, you decide at 60% clarity, and you ship it, minimum viable action. It's not 100% ready, but you ship it today. So I want to teach you an NLP technique called the Swish. It's a neuro-linguistic programming technique called the Swish. And really this is, so you want to, take a deep breath, almost get meditative. It doesn't take long, don't worry. Almost get meditative, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, but you start with the old image, right? You see, so you're talking about a specific lie here. You see yourself stuck in that moment, in that lie. You're frozen, you're scrolling, you're overthinking, you're talking yourself out of the next step. And you want to keep that image, but you want to keep it small and dull, maybe black and white. But that's an image of you, and feel that image, right? Because that's what you do, right? Feel the image of what you're doing, right? And now you build a new image. This is you answering the lie with an action. So you would typically do this. You would do this basically after you label it, right? You could pause and breathe. You would do this during the pause and breathe. So again, this is a technique. You could do this every day or anytime you see it. Just takes a few minutes. But so you visualize the frozen you, right? And then you build that new image. You answering the lie with an action. This is visualization. This is also a visualization technique if you've heard of that. So like if the lie is certainty, what you would do is see yourself choosing with that 60% clarity and taking the next testable step. See yourself, feel yourself doing it, really, really make this a vivid new image, right? If the lie is you're not ready, you see yourself shipping the tiny version today, the draft, making the call, getting the one-page offer out there. If the lie is too late, you see yourself starting now, not arguing with the clock. Forget about the clock. You're just doing the one thing this week that next week you will thank you for. And if the lie is safety, you see yourself making the risk smaller and smarter. One safe experiment instead of one huge leap. Just a minimal step outside the comfort zone, but you're getting outside the comfort zone, right? So you make that image bright. You make the new image like really bright, really close, really alive. You feel that image of you taking that step that you got to take. You're moving, you're doing the damn thing. That's the image. Maybe it's a video, right? And then add the snap to image, right? The click, the anchor progress. So you do so then add the click, fast click, right? Maybe a snap, whatever it is. And then so as you snap to that new image, then click, snap to the old image. Old, dull, black and white image, smaller, and then click, snap to the new image, right? Run that 5 times. Click, snap to the old image, then the new image. It's alive, bright, vivid. Do that 5 times fast, right? The click is really the lock-in. So you're teaching your brain when the old story shows up, this is where we go instead, all right? So if you want to really make this click, you use the 1 hour rule, right? And make this stick. You want to make this more than just a nice idea, right? Use the 1 hour rule. After you do that swish technique, you pick the loudest lie, the one that you just ran the technique on. You run the swish, if you haven't already run it, and you take the next step within 1 hour. And take the next small step, minimum viable action. Get moving on it. Get some momentum. That's how you stop this again from turning into just another nice idea, right? And you stop this lie program from running in your head. So I know I told you a lot there, and I went through it kind of quickly, and this one was a really off-the-cuff video, so sorry if I rambled a little bit, but I think it's important, and this really helped me, right? I want you to picture what this could do, though, in the long run, right? So you can picture yourself, your filter flipping from why not to what's next, right? Instead of always questioning everything, it's what's next? How do I move forward next? Your attention then starts spotting the next steps, and it doesn't spot the stalls. It doesn't focus on stalls anymore. Now you're focusing on next steps and taking action. So you start to get used to that, right? After a week, decisions, they'll feel a little bit lighter. After a month, people will notice the change because you're taking action on stuff. You're not stalling. You're not constantly learning. You're actually doing shit, pardon my French. But you're going to stack tiny ships. You're going to build proof fast. Your nervous system's going to relax because movement now feels normal. And that is how you get ahead in life. That's how you start to live to your passions and start to do the things that you've always wanted to do that you keep putting off because of these damn lies, right? Because you keep yourself stuck. So this is literally uncaged. It's what I talk about in my upcoming book too. You trust the next step, not the perfect plan, right? Recognition when the fear dresses up and is trying to infiltrate. One tiny action to earn some clarity. A swish to wire it in and keep that loop tight, and the momentum compounds. So I want to talk about just a 30-day experiment. Again, really easy, guys. It does not take long to do this. So yeah, just really quickly, here's just a really quick, easy 30-day challenge you can do, a 30-day action challenge. So just really easy, every day, spot one lie. You're doing it all the time, so you can spot one throughout a day. Pause for one breath, right? Ask questions if you need clarity around which lie it is or anything. But the important part is recognition. You're recognizing it. Take one tiny step and then swish it in. All right. So I'll have a little thing for you to download in the show notes too, that we'll have a 30-day checklist. You can go through this every 30 days. Should take 5-10 minutes a day, right? But you're taking action after all of this. So it's really important. It might just take 5 to 10 minutes to spot the lie, do the swish technique, and then actually take that action. But that is what builds the momentum. And after 30 days of you doing that, you're used to it, man. You're always taking the next step. You're looking for ways to take the next step in every area of your life. It becomes addictive. So it's great. All right. So every week I want you to jot wins, because that's big. Energy, confidence, your action rate. How are you feeling? How's everything going? All right. I'll have a checklist for you on a printout. So small moves, but at the end of the day, big compounding action, building momentum, taking that action. All right. Action. Remember, always remember, action creates confidence, not the other way around. You should write that on a Post-it note and put it somewhere, because it comes in handy and it's true in like every area of life. So just in conclusion, y'all, I appreciate you being here with me today. But if you remember one thing today, fear often dresses like logic. It fools you. It sneaks in. All right. And the quickest fix that you can do is to see it, breathe a couple of times, act small, take one small action now and lock it in. All right. Run the one breath interrupt, we'll call it, right? For 30 days, spot the lie, take a couple breaths, run the swish technique, take a small action, run it for 30 days. All right. Track every win, and then action becomes your default. It's no longer stalling. Action is your default. Taking that next step is your default. If you want more on how to get unstuck and how to start living your life to your fullest and live into your purpose, subscribe so you don't miss any videos. Gonna have some awesome stuff coming up every week. And share this with a friend who's quietly stuck as well. Appreciate you. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.